Dear learners, in this session we would be discussing the various characteristics of self-help groups, that is SHGs. In the previous session we had discussed the concept and various definitions of SHG and how SHG evolved. Now this is the continuation of the SHG part, and we need to understand what are the various characteristics of SHGs. Now if we see the whole concept of SHG, we will just go or scan through the features of SHG existing, and then we will just cull out some basic common characteristics of SHGs and discuss them. Now if we just move further and describe the features of SHG, as discussed earlier also, it is usually of small size and the access is limited to 20 members per group. Now the reason for this is that if the group is large, the managing that particular group would be very difficult. So the concept of SHG arose by keeping the limit of the size of the group to 20 members. Now if it increases that size, then it turns out into cooperatives. Then again it is homogeneity in terms of socio-economic conditions and the levels of living. The living standards of the members of the group usually is similar in nature. It is not that somebody who is very highly skilled, highly educated and financially strong is one member, and somebody who is very poor is one member. So homogeneity needs to be maintained, and it is in terms of socio-economic backgrounds. The other part is the periodic meetings on the weekly or fortnightly basis, and the other part is inculcating the habit of thrift. That means inculcating the habit of saving or inculcating the habit of taking out some money and depositing it for the benefit of themselves. Generation of common fund, and that is through contributing regularly in equal savings from members. Lending or providing loan to the members. So these are some of the characteristics which I will just read out, and then we will discuss the major ones and what are the major SHG characteristics. Now availing credit support from financial institutions without collateral substitute, this is very important characteristic of SHG, where the member or the person from the same community goes to the bank, gets the loan without depositing one's property or jewelry or any kind of collateral substitute. This is very important. That means they get the loan without putting or investing some other thing. Each member contributes a specific amount, and the members can turn to the joint saving for loans. After 6 months of being monitored, the group becomes eligible for a bank loan. That means for 6 months continuously they have to follow the guidelines provided for SHGs, and then only they become eligible for a bank loan, because enough deposits should be there for generating the bank loan. The revolving fund or the rotating fund helps the members to draw from it for medical and educational expenses. It is kind of an insurance, or to perform marriage, or to have social functions, and to undertake family obligations, or to support their husband's enterprise. So since women, basically the target group are women, so they can even support their family in different forms. So this is a basic criteria. Then the more educated women, they tend to hold the leadership posts and the powerful posts, as we discussed that the meetings need to be conducted. So in rotation, so usually the meetings are conducted by the leaders of the group who are educated enough to understand the concept of SHG. And the leaders are chosen why? Because they have to deal with financial functions and the dealings with the banks, the government officials. So, they should be aware enough how to do the dealings with the self-promoting agencies. And they are also involved in calling and conducting the meetings, or they are involved in the decisions regarding the selection of borrowers, the amount of the loan, the rate of the interest, the repayment schedules. All this has to be decided by the group, and this needs to be taken care of by a person in the written form. So, one person acts as the mediator and a source of communication between the self-promoting agencies and the banks to the group members or the SHGs. So, this is how the leadership role comes into picture. Then other characteristic is to encourage women to realize that they may be vulnerable as individuals, as the societal norms say, but actually it is not. But collectively they can use their intelligence and creativity to solve their own problems, and of course to solve their family problems. SHGs, they may be formed for any purpose. It can be for credits, that means giving loans, for savings, for mutual help groups, for learning groups, anything. An external facilitator may facilitate the formation of the group, but the group is controlled by its members. The goals of the SHG need to be very, very clear and to arise out of the aspiration of its members and should be known to all members. That means the objective of SHG should be known to all members. In this case, this is very important to note that each and every member of the group must be active enough to participate in the deliberations of the SHG meetings. If some people are not able to participate, they need to the 6-month bracket is given just to make them aware about the things happening and how the things will be dealt. So, the awareness is created, the savings is created, and then they become eligible for loan and forming the whole group. So, the SHG is better sustained if all its members have contributed to its formation in some way. As I said, they need to be active in one way or the other. SHGs are dynamic in nature. Their composition may change because, as we discussed in the concept, the member leader is chosen on rotation. So, the composition changes and their lifespan is as long as the members they feel the need to persist. Now, if the members they become economically stable, they become financially stable and they can generate income on their own without the help of the group, then the composition of the group is or the composition of group tend to change. So, this is what is dynamic in nature. Intra-group conflicts may reduce the cohesion of the group. This is again very important because we as human beings have different views, we have arguments, and we have our own egos. So, this may result in dissolution of group or this may result in conflicts. So, usually it does not happen, but this may arise. So, this is another feature. This is related to the dynamic nature of SHG, where the composition changes. It may change because of the group conflict. Ownership of a group by the members. This is the self ownership is there by the members. They collectively break the socio-cultural barriers and mutually help the foundation of the groups. Now, SHG is a forum it is a platform for collective learning. It is for inter-agency dialogue. Inter-agency dialogue means they communicate with the self-promoting agencies also, and they develop a kind of cooperation. It is a cost-effective model and a proper financial delivery mechanism where financial inclusion is involved. Mature SHGs assist in formation of new groups and promotion of federation of SHGs. So, there are SHGs like I was talking about Seva, though it is a cooperative now. So, there are SHGs they help new groups to form and they promote them, that is the SHG federations. So, they promote those small groups to come up in a better way. SHGs are formed outside the activities of the bureaucracy and the political parties because they have the limited scope, and the intervention of the latter is risky, costlier, and the benefits are only shared amongst the members on an equitable basis. That means the sharing is equally done. SHGs follow a truly participatory mode since they are people's organization, and they involve participatory decision making, and their functioning is based or felt needs of the people and based on use of local resources. Now, these out of those many characteristics, these are the 9 major characteristics of self-help groups, and that decides how the self-help group exists. These 9 characteristics are: first is voluntary, it is based on a cause, it is informal in nature, it has a limited size, it has a control, it has members, it has meetings, and it is related to development or empowerment. We will discuss these one by one in brief. The first part, the SHGs are voluntary in nature. The members are the volunteers of the group. They act as volunteers and they are the members also. The individuals on their own decide to form or become a member of SHG. So, there is no forcing mechanism. It is by choice. Voluntary means by choice. So, you have to come forward by choice and be a part of group or form a group. So, this is voluntary in nature. The other characteristics, the main feature is that all the SHGs, they are based on a cause. They are created because there is a cause existing. They have a certain goal. They have a certain objective to achieve that goal. So, they are formed for resolving a particular issue or a specific issue or a cause. The cause is limited to lives of the group members, especially usually they are the financial causes. But there can be, as I discussed earlier, there can be the social causes also like literacy, health and environment. The members, they do attempt to resolve the cause through mutual support. The third major aspect of SHG is that they are informal in nature. There is no formal mechanism to register them or to call them as an organized form. So, they are informal nature. So, groups are informal in nature, and that is one of the reason for it being dynamic in nature. Such groups, they are run by individuals for helping themselves. It is self-empowerment. No registration is required for their formation. However, registration is required for linking with the government schemes. Now, if you want to link with the government schemes, then in that case the registration is required, but still the nature is informal. The fourth major characteristic is the size. The groups are generally small in size. The single group comprises of say 10 to 20 members at the most. Large groups can create problems in participation of all members, so that is why the group is limited. SHGs with less than 10 members may not be able to collect a good sum of funds. So, again, if it is less than 10, it is difficult to generate income and create savings of a substantial sum. If it is more than 20, then participatory problems come into picture. The fifth aspect is the control. The group is controlled in a democratic manner, and all the members, they have equal rights in the group. Every member is allowed to take part in the decision making process. So, in that case, the control is with everyone. It is not a single control. It is not a bureaucratic control. So, every member has the right to speak up, to participate in the decision making, to control the happenings. If the conflict arises, every member has the right to evade the conflict. Every member is allowed, or every member has the right to participate in the decision making. What kind of decisions to be taken, how much savings to be done, how much loans to be dispersed, etc. So, there the limits can be decided by the group itself. The sixth aspect is the financial inclusion. This is one of the major aspects or the major feature of SHG, and financial inclusion basically means that the poor from the lower social economic background, they are included in the mainstream of the society. They are well off enough, they are financially strong enough to fend themselves. So, this is a kind of financial inclusion also. The members, they are required to pool the funds and the members, they are allowed to take the loan from the collected funds at lower rate of interest. In this case, the collateral is not there definitely, but of course, the interest rate is there when somebody takes the loan. After 6 months, member can pledge the collected funds and get the bank loans also. For the 6 months, they can take from their rotation of income itself the loans. The SHGs, they require the members to keep the savings essentially. The seventh characteristic is the meeting. The group is required to meet frequently, maybe weekly, fortnightly or monthly. Usually the weekly and fortnightly meetings are suggested, but in certain cases monthly meetings are also held. All the members, they are required to attend the meeting, that is compulsory, because everybody has the participatory nature, everybody has to participate in the decision making. So, therefore, all the members, they are required to attend the meeting. The minutes of the meetings are to be maintained in order to keep the record. So, the proceedings should be maintained, and usually it is done by the leader of the group, and it is circulated amongst each one so that they know what is happening in the group. So, in that case it is more transparent in nature. The other aspect is the members. The members are usually from the poor families, and majority of the SHGs are formed by women. Members are usually from the same socio or financial backgrounds. Usually when we talk about SHGs, many of the SHGs, like there are groups who make of the women groups, because women, they are very good with it is said that they are good with cooking and cooking things like pickles and like making crispies, etc. So, they form those groups and they sell it across to generate the income. So, majority, most of the SHGs are formed by women. All the members are women in that particular group. There are SHGs, as I said, there are SHGs which do have men also, but basically it was started as a movement for women empowerment. So, the members are usually from the same socio and financial background. Now, the last characteristic of the SHG is the development or the empowerment of the women. SHGs, they help in the development process in the rural areas, basically in rural areas. The members, they work towards the issues such as women empowerment, abolishment of alcoholism, education, etc. Now, I can give you an example of a nearby state where the women came together to combat or to fight against alcoholism, where they even met with the self-promoting agencies, they even contacted the government to abolish the alcoholism, and till date alcohol cannot be consumed in that particular locality. You can't even take the alcohol in that particular locality. So, that is one example. Then women empowerment is in different forms. Women empowerment does not mean that the women goes outside, works and fends the family, etc. The women empowerment means that women is confident enough of herself to and is confident enough of her skills to generate income, to help the family, to provide education to her children. So, this kind of developmental aspects come into picture. The SHGs, they help in poverty alleviation amongst the backward classes, and that is done amongst the group itself. It leads to the elimination of informal lenders, like I was talking about the microfinance institutions, how they came into existence. There are informal lenders in villages where they exploit the poor and they charge lot of interest, and since the poor, they are not literate enough to understand what is happening. So, the informal lenders, they exploit them to an extent. The SHGs then help these villagers to eliminate the informal lenders and provide them the formal loan process. So, these are the 9 characteristics of SHGs, and to sum up, we would we can say that SHGs have been following many guidelines, have been combating major crises, but the 9 main characteristics formulate the other characteristics which are built on these 9 characteristics. And to summarize, these 9 characteristics are, they are voluntary in nature, they exist for a cause, they are informal in nature, they have a specific size, they have a self control, they provide financial inclusion, they have a specific meeting modes, and they have members in them, and they believe in the development and the empowerment of the target group, basically the women. Thank you so much.